welcome to Check 1 2, where we share stories of survivors, advocates and supporters of testicular cancer awareness, all recorded here at the world famous Podcast Studio Glasgow. In this episode, I'm talking to John Brines, a testicular cancer survivor whose story pulls no punches. John opens up about the fear that comes along with hearing the word cancer, the complications he faced after surgery, and how that impacted not just his body, but his confidence, relationships, and his mental health. It's a brutally honest chat about what happens after the diagnosis, the parts that don't always make it into leaflets or awareness campaigns. Because testicular cancer isn't just about treatment and recovery, it's about rebuilding who you are along the way. This is John Brines. Thanks very much for coming back on Check 1 2. If you could just kind of again just tell us your story from and take your time and if you need to take a break and let me jump in, by all means I will.
As you know yourself and others will know, you never forget your story. It never. In fact, something came up the other day that suddenly remembered it again. It's coming up for 8 years next month when I started getting the pain. My daughter's 23, so 22 years ago I went in and got the snip. Part of the snip, I went well, I got knocked out. There was no way I was allowing anybody to touch me down there, and I'm watching it. I was like, no. So I went in and got that, everything was fine. Months went by, and eventually, about a year after it, suddenly developed a massive cyst in I think it was my left testicle, I think it was, rushed down to the GP. GP went, whoa, straight to the hospital, looks like a twisted testicle, which can kill you. Which cheered me up when the doctor said that. It turns out it was a cyst. It was nothing major, but the doctor started keeping an eye on me. But through all that, it turns out what they were keeping an eye on me was basically calcium in the testicle. Way back then, they believed that calcium had a big part to play in cancer, testicular cancer.
Right.
Testicular cancer, sorry, can you spit that out? And it's not, but they ruled that out, but I was unaware of that. So I'd been seeing the urologist every year, so eventually about third year in, they told me that's the reason you're there. And then they dismissed me, and that was it. But all the way through that, I used to get what myself and my mate called Chucky strain. You go and do something and the strain and the pain was excruciating. Right. But it only last. The pain was really bad for the first day, and then it would ease off over a week, and then that'd be it. So school holidays, October, we're away with my youngest daughter and my wife. Got the pain. I've got a touring caravan, so you move the caravan about, you're bound to get things like that. So I got the strain, what I believed. But this then lasted for about 3 weeks. And my wife finally went, nah, something's not right here. There's no way, you never like that. And it was still sore. So she happened to be going to the doctors and mentioned they have to get the doctor to phone me. The doctor then phoned that day. I explained to him my past and all that, and he went, no, we're getting you up for an emergency ultrasound. Okay, never thought of that. So that was the Monday. Went up in the morning, and Tuesday morning the doctor phoned and says, look, we found a dark mass. But don't worry, 9 out of 10 are benign. But I don't know, I just went, no, this isn't right. So that then led on to basically the pain still being there. Doctor gave me naproxen. It was to basically try and kill the pain, which worked. Then I get the appointment with to up to see the urologist, and sat down with him, and not once did he mention cancer to me. Not once. Think up, have a look, blah blah blah. Right, there's a lump there. We're going to take it off. Let's just be like, it's too big to leave it, so we need to take it off. So that's fine. That's no bother. And says if it happens right at the end of it, 10-15 minutes right at the end of it, if it is found to be cancerous, up to the beats in, 1 round of chemo, you'll be fine. So don't worry about it. Away in and sit down. At the same time, I'm up at the hospital. My dad's up at the hospital. His name's John as well. So when I check in, John Brines, and they turned around and said, what one? I'm sitting going, what do you mean what ones? And I figured it was my dad, so I didn't want my dad to know, didn't want him to worry, he's got his own stuff, so they hid us in a room. So the nurse took us into the room, saying we're back in a second, come back. And I was quite upset, I was quite thingy about it, but he hadn't mentioned properly it was cancer. Although he knew himself, she came in and said, I know it's terrible when you get news of cancer. And I went,
oh, so they had kind of just brought that to you because they thought you knew?
Yes,
right.
Yeah, she kind of said it, and I went, hey, John, stop worrying about it. Then the journey started. So that was December. By the time it all happened, it was December. And beginning, then you've got that wait where you wait for the multidisciplinary team to get all the evidence. Obviously, I got the test go off, and then you're waiting for all that, which was only probably about a week. But to me, you know, it's a month.
It's a lifetime.
Yeah, you're just sitting going. And then I started one day sitting at my desk and computer, and face went all numb. What's going on here? So I all swore, I'm not going to look up the internet, I'm not going to have anything to do with it. And I went to start and I stopped myself, and then it went down my side. So something's not right here. So eventually, I was not close to finishing, away up the road. By the time I got, and it's an 8-minute drive from my work to the house, by the time I got to my house, the whole in my left-hand side was numb.
Right.
I could hardly walk. I went in and I sat in the stairs and said, Francis, something's going wrong with me. Just drove me up to actual emergency, again, not far from the house. And they'd done every test they could on me. So, nothing wrong with you. Absolutely nothing wrong with you. I'm like, there must be. So, look, there's nothing. I just explained what I was going through, and they said, well, it could be to do with that. We don't know because we're not experts in that. You'd need to speak to your urologist, your oncologist. Okay, that's fine. It turns out I was having a severe panic attack. My doctor, who then put me on beta blockers to basically calm me down till I got through. So eventually I get the call for the beatson to come up and see Jeff White, whatever people want to call him, although he's no longer there, to come up and see him. Myself, my wife, we went up and walked in, and Jeff White's looking at me with a funny look as if to say, what? And I'm looking, I'm going, sitting down, what's wrong? He says, I was expecting an old man to walk through that door. I said, pardon? He said, how high your blood markers are. I was expecting an old man to walk through. And I was like, okay. I said, well, I've been doing a lot of walking the past couple of years. I've lost a lot of weight due to it. He said, well, that's helped you. So my blood markers were at 22,000.
Right.
And they went, that was the previous test. So he says, right, going to get you in, explained everything to me, what exactly was going to happen, only explained the medical side of it, and things like you're going to lose your hair, you're going to this is really strong chemo, we're going to batter you, but I never really went into anything else. And at the time you don't think, everything's a blur, you're forgetting all about it, and 2 years after I try to remember what was said. Went and get my bloods done. He said, I'll see you after Christmas. This was the 21st of December. See you Thursday after Christmas, we'll get you in, you come in and start your chemo. Perfect, that's fine. He said, go away, enjoy your Christmas as much as you can, obviously under circumstances, but don't worry, I'm going to cure you. Like, brilliant. That's it. That's that. The minute he says that, you're settled down. That's it, right? Okay, he said. And away we went. I went into the work to say, right, I'm going to be off for away. We're shut down for Christmas anyway, but I'll not be back straight away. I'm going to get the chemo and that. It's fine, John, don't worry about it. Away, and we're sorry, away we went, and Francis says, Mum, we'll go and get diesel, because you cannot have beats, and Christmas is coming up, we'll go and fill the car with diesel. Then they were prepared. There must have been something in her mind telling her, she's away in paying for the diesel, and while she's in, the beatson call. We need you up now, but we can't get you up now, so it's going to be tomorrow. Your blood markers are even higher. So they went up to, I think it was 28,000.
Right.
It's like, okay. He says, if I could get the chemo now, it was Jeff yourself, if I could get the chemo now, I'd have you up right now, but I can't. So tomorrow morning, be in here for 9 o'clock and we'll get it started. It's like, okay. So then that I'm going to cure you just went from straight down there. You're like, oh no. So break that to Francis. So away we got up. to the chemo, and I'm lucky enough, the chemo, the beatson, I'm lucky enough I get a room to myself. I thought, that's good, that's fine, it's in there. Unbeknown to me, it's probably the worst thing you could have, being in there yourself. You should have had somebody around you, and it was 22nd, 23rd of December, so started the chemo, and after the first night, I came out and I was like the Michelin man. Basically fluid.
Right.
I was retaining the fluid and it would disappear. So of course, you get a doctor and you can make sure they would do and did all different things. So through all the thing with all that session, went relative well. It was not long after that session I met Joe, who you've interviewed. That's when Joe and I became friends. Done the usual back end. So the blood markers started to drop. And we've got Nicola, who was the clinical nurse at the time. And Jeff's going, by the looks at it, the tumours you've got, which again he told us I had 5 tumours, 4 in my abdomen and 1 up near my heart.
Right.
He said, look, hopefully with getting rid of this, they'll recede and you'll not need any operation. That's fine, no worries. So he's again reiterating that blood markers, you're doing really well, blood markers are down, you're fine. Everything's going well, it's expected. And again, the operation, if it's going the way it's going, you'll not need the operation. So he walks out and Nicola's at the background saying, John, don't get that in your head that you're not going to need the operation. You still might need that operation. And every time of the 4-week session, he would say the same, to a point where my blood markers, within the 3 months of doing chemo, my blood markers went from 28,000 down to 8.
Right.
So the chemo worked.
Yeah.
So they then sent me for a CT scan, or what was the big one? The CAT scan.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure. No, sent me for the CT scan to start with, and eventually I got the bigger scan.
The MRI?
I got an MRI. I've had them all.
Aye.
So he came back, and this time it was the people that works for Jeff. He's sitting down and says, right, you're going to need the operation. And I felt as if the floor just went away from my feet.
Yeah.
I was totally and utterly gutted. And I said, well, no, Jeff said I wouldn't need it. Jeff got it wrong. And she said, hold on, I'll go and get Jeff. Jeff came in and said, look, I'm really sorry. The way things were going, it looked as if it was gone. So he told me then that basically going to see, and I remember the name before I came here, and it's just go and get the operation for I'll come back to in a minute. It turns out, sent me the operation 2 months later, the RPLND, and they took 4 huge tumours out of me. The biggest being 9 centimetres by 8 centimetres by 7, all on my left-hand side, and the other 3 weren't far away from that.
Yeah.
Operation for 8 hours, nearly 9 hours. Lost a lot of fluid during it. But I got through that.
Mm-hmm.
I got through it. And that's, again, fighting all the way through. You know you're still on that journey. You're still fighting. And then I had the one here. It was 0.8 of a centimetre, where it used to be just under 5. Through that, and then Jeff said, we need to get you. That's where the MRI and that came in, the CAT scan came in. We need to get that done, see where that is, and see if there is any other. There's no cancer left down there. We've got that out, and they were cancerous. We've got rid of them. So let's have a look at that one there. Give it a couple of weeks, just see how things go. And it grew. But there was no cancer in my body. It was just that tumour. Right. It grew itself, so it grew back to just under 5 centimetres. And they then sent me in to the operation where they go in round there, and they took the tumour out of there. And it was just after the results from that, basically, I said, John, you're cancer-free. Mm-hmm. I was actually cancer-free probably the month before I realised I was cancer-free, remission. I keep on saying cancer-free here. And it wasn't till the month later that Nicola turned and said, John, it's you in remission, the cancer's gone. Really? She went, yeah. So, like most people, rang the bell. And see, the minute I'll think back to it and I rang that bell, that's where my troubles, that's my mental health started. Mm-hmm. Because there's no fight. It's gone. And there's no preparation for that. Yeah. None whatsoever. And as much as people say, John, you're fine, that's good, you're clear and all that, I'm not. Mm-hmm. I'm not frightened at all. And it's that fighting, and that was like, God, a year. It's felt like 10, you know yourself. It's just, the journey's a long, long journey. And I just wish somebody would have prepared me for that.
Mm-hmm.
I wish somebody, like, that sitting along with Jeff, who's got the clinical nurse, that somebody from a mental health nurse would sit down there. Don't get me wrong, I was 48 at the time, so I've had a good life. I'm hopefully halfway through my life, and suddenly, boom, you're hit with that. And it'd be great if somebody was sitting there to turn around and go, wait a minute, John, this is going to be a huge journey for you. Mm-hmm. You're going to be away up there, and then you're going to come straight back down. And that's what I struggled with.
Yeah.
And then talking to other people, and I was in, I've got quite a few health issues now due to the chemo, which Jeff had said the long-term health will be affected because of chemo, the type of chemo they're pumping into the body. Because I get the full whack. Mm-hmm. Everything that was going, you can have it.
You threw it at you.
And then, see, by the way, every Friday after you've had your chemo, come in and give you an injection as well on your backside. Oh, thanks very much. That's really nice of you. And that was worse than anything, that injection. But you just don't. Still to this day, ring that bell. I've got a video and see it, and I just see it in my face. I can see it in my face going, whoa, what just happened?
Aye, you've not rang the bell to end the round. You've rang the bell to start.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And it's the weirdest feeling ever. Mm-hmm. And as I say, 48, and you think, come on, you can cope with these things. I wish I was younger. Aye. Because you're oblivious. Yeah. I think you and I spoke regarding that, but when you're younger, you take more. Mm-hmm. You've had less life experience, so that you're then taking it to the chin. Wee bit, it's not till you're older, you suddenly go, I've got my mum, my dad, my wife, my kids, my grandson, and it's all going, it's I still look back in it, and I've just jumped away from there. I was in seeing the nurse regarding my blood pressure and that. I was talking away, and she said, I remember when you first came in and everything you were going through and all that. She said, how you coping? I said, well, I have more good days than I have bad days, but I still have the bad days. And she says, it's funny that, cause I do deal with a lot of breast cancer. And the ladies come in, and as soon as they've been in remission, they just go downhill. Yeah. And I'm glad you said that. I'm glad it was, at least I know it's not just down to the cancer I had, it's basically every cancer. Mm. And you don't feel as much as isolated that, but it's still what happened? Yeah. What happened to my life? And again, you say it yourself, you look around and you go, life's changed. Life is, you look at things completely different. In work, people get all stressed and all uptight and tight, and I'm like, what are you doing? Stop. Getting yourself uptight. You're going to work yourself into an early grave, or yourself ill and over that. And part of me thinks, because Jeff, I remember him telling me they don't know what causes testicular cancer. They have a theory, which is not proven, that it's possibly the way when you're a boy, your testicles drop. It's down to possibly that going wrong. But they have no definitive, well, then, I don't know if it's changed since then. I've not really looked into it in that point of view. But I tried all different channels. I've seen a counsellor. But again, it's not somebody who deals with cancer. Yeah. And trying to reach out with somebody who deals with the cancer side, the NHS don't provide it. As much as the NHS has been absolutely fantastic, and I can't fault them in any way whatsoever through my journey, that bit's missing. Yeah. It might seem a small bit, but it's a huge bit.
I felt the same. Like when I obviously went through mine, the same type of thing happened. It's like, and I've told this on this before, but I was finished my chemo by the June. Went on holiday, went out to the States to visit family. I was still bald for the chemo, you know what I mean? To the point where actually, like, I had that much chemo brain. I keep, like, me and my wife will talk about the holiday, and I'll go, I can't remember that. There's big chunks in my memory over the next couple of years that I can't remember stuff. And I was like, I can't remember that part of the holiday or whatever. I can't remember coming home to my cousin's wedding, and I keep saying, no, but we didn't see the ceremony. She's like, Paul, we did. We didn't just go for a dinner. Do you know what I mean? But I remember sitting, and it was August the 13th, 2015. It was my son's 5th birthday. I'm up in the bath and I'm looking at the tap dripping into the water, and the house is starting to fill up with family coming to see the wee man, and I'm just stunned. And I think we spoke about this before, and it's like, for me, like, it's that thing of depression. People think depression, you feel sad, you feel something. I didn't feel anything at all. And then that's when I knew there was a problem. And that was when I realised, yep, that's my fight about to start.
I had sort of mental health issues before, but not to this extent. And mine's was different. No, I got the chemo fog. I had all that as well. And but mine was anger.
Right.
But I didn't know. And I take out my youngest daughter, and she was 16, 17 at the time. And I just get angry for no reason. Totally not like angry, and I'm shouting and bawling, and I didn't even know I was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And Francis sat me down. You can't keep doing this. Look what you're doing. I said, what am I doing? John, listen. And she went through it. And I went for a walk. I think it was about a 5 mile walk. I just went and walked and tried to clear my head, and I eventually came back and says, look, you're right, I need help. Got to see the doctor, and I'm lucky enough the doctors, like the GPs, were just as great as the NHS itself. They were brilliant. And right, we'll try you on this tablet. We'll see how you go with that. You've had it before. Let's try again. And it's the minute it hit lows, my wife, she knows it's coming. My daughter knows it's coming. And you just basically, whoa, right. And to even that one, the medication, I still hit lows.
Mm-hmm.
I load the other week. In fact, we were on holiday, and I was sending my daughter's messages. You only contact your mum. You only contact me when you want something. And I was in a low, feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about me. It's a lot of nonsense. They're not doing. You're sitting.
What you do though, you go like, I'm nobody's child.
Yeah. Nobody loves me. I think I'll go and eat worms. Yeah. But it's strange, and you don't see it coming. And I think, me personally, and maybe others think the same, if there was that additional help at the start to help you to deal with it, to sit down and away from your family, come in maybe once a week, you're in the beats and doing it, come in and say, look, let's sit and talk. We'll go in a room and we'll sit and talk, and we'll see how you really are, instead of going and prepare you for that.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right. I think there is definitely that gap, and I think what they don't realise as well is that the psychological effect to any cancer, anyway. But when you lose like a part that's visible, you know, like breast cancer is going to be the same for women, you know, it's like, but when you're losing a testicle, and there's, even if you haven't tied your masculinity to your testicles, your balls, it doesn't really matter. You're still losing a part of yourself, and it does have a big impact. And your body confidence, image confidence, you know, even like intimacy, you know, with your partner is it changes. It's went from this normal thing to now this part of me has changed. You know, and I think they need to look at, even if it was, you know, a group session, like I find that guys probably do talk better when they're together, and they can peel in and out a conversation, and if we're all sitting there and we're all talking about it, but have a psychologist, you know,
well, they do that
donating their time.
They do that in prisons. They do that also with, you go, I don't go, Alcoholics Anonymous, you get that session when there's someone there who's been through it or can help. You're talking the masculinity side. So this operation has a part of its downside of it, especially the big tumour that was on it. So I was in, still his name's not come back to me, that's terrible. I was in talking to the surgeon, and he's, what a drawing this guy done, where the tumours were and what he's going to do and everything. He's showing me, he said, but see that tumour, it looks as if it's on a nerve. Right, okay. He says, but there's a slight chance we might need to cut that nerve. I went, okay. So what's the issue with that? He said, well, it's going to cause retrograde. I went, I'm not a doctor. What's retrograde? But in theory, as it is with the operation, he says, well, that nerve controls two things. It controls whether you have smelly feet, or it controls whether your semen comes out.
Right.
I went, pardon? They went, yeah. And I suddenly looked to Frances and they went, seen the smile on her face. She said, that's me, that's perfect, I'm no mess. And I went, I'm 48, nearly 49. In fact, I was 48 at the time. She said, that's fine. And then we went up again. This is the night before, or a couple of nights before, he likes to see you again because it's such a huge operation. And he's sitting in, and my oldest daughter, who's a nurse, said, I want to come up. It's fine, he said, because I believe you two are not taking everything in, and I want to hear what he's got to say. She's just worried her dad getting in, and being a health professional, that's in their mind. So I said, that's fine, we come on, no bother. So we're sitting there talking away, and we went 10, 15 minutes into it, and he brings it up, and my daughter's there, and I went, he said, well, I said, but you said there was a low chance of that. And he says, no, there's a big chance now. I've had closer looks. Right, okay. So at this point, that's me. I'm shattered with the chemo. I don't have any energy for anything whatsoever. And he hits me with that. So I get through the operation, and it was the first thing I asked him when I woke up, because he was there. I said, did you have to cut the nerve? Yeah. And that sticks in there, and it still sticks, as you say, your masculinity or thing where he's taking a part of me away. It's not only taking a Tesco away, or my Chucky as I call it. He's then taking that away, and it's a massive part of your masculinity. It is, because for your turn thing with your your puberty right through, and it's suddenly gone. And whoa. So that again, that's not helped with things, especially when you're intimate. It's in the back of your mind, and sort of, not as much now, but at the start, I mean, it's much now, not for so just over 7 years. But again, not only have you ripped my body apart with chemo, you rip my body apart with getting tumours out and stuff like that, and I think that then again, on top of everything. It wasn't until you were then talking about whether it's a massive thing, but your masculinity. I mean, you know what men are like, we're all as bad as each other when it comes to it. I know, I'm fine, don't worry about me. That's why the 3 weeks went by, because I kept on saying to Frances, no, I'm fine. Yeah. And if it wasn't for her, I'd probably been worse off, because the chemo would have been a lot worse than that. So, not the chemo, the cancer. But just the whole thing, I still need help. But I still can't find someone to talk to. And during our last chat, I went home with a buzz. I really did went home with a buzz, but just doing this sort of thing, talking to somebody about it, somebody's been through the same. Yeah. And that's something I need to try and address when possibly getting more in contact with people in my area and that. But again, it's probably through Cahonas and finding places, people who are done the same, and I need to do that. It's great, my wife been there. We talk all the time, so she's there all the time and help me, but she doesn't know what's in there, what's going wrong, what's up with you, and you're sitting there being quiet and stuff like that, and you think you're just being annoying and on your phone all the time, but you're not. Yeah. You're in a different world. Yeah,
and there's so much more happens at the end of that as well. Like, losing a testicle impacts your testosterone impacts your mood, you know what I mean? It's like, you've got so much that goes on with that it's difficult to explain to somebody sometimes, you know, out with somebody who's been through it, you know, and I mean, mate, that's essentially how this podcast got started, was, you know, me going into the Good Coffee Cartel and speaking to Todd and Richie, just kind of looking at the two as two guys who have had testicular cancer, speaking and going, this should be the podcast, you know, and it's like,
yeah, true.
And it was kind of born out of an idea that we wanted to do anyway, but when he saw like that connection between guys who have had it, and there is just a simple way of speaking, you know, because there's an in, you know exactly that you've had a shared experience.
Yes.
You know, and I think that definitely helps.
And that's where I got from, we were talking to Joe, and I'd done most of the talking with Joe in that sense, because I'm a good listener. I'll sit and let people
I can't believe somebody talked more than Joe.
Well, that's true. No, I listened. It's funny, it was the end of my first session, And I remember it because I was in that room myself, and I was absolutely. And I don't know about you, did the chemo overnight?
Yeah, aye.
And I moaned at Jeff at that. You need to stop that. That's no fair. And you get the orderly or the guys coming in and waking you up to say for your breakfast. And I've just went to sleep. And so I just finished. They took the chemo out, or the saline out of it, and then basically I fell asleep. And Chloe, my oldest, came in and says, "Dad." So what is it? What's up? A wee bit of panic. There's a guy down. His name's Joe. He's really struggling. And he's been through, he's got testicular cancer. Like, you want to come and talk to him? And I'm like, huh? And that helped me so much.
Yeah.
Just, what's Joe? Joe done the talking. As Joe does. No disrespect, mate. And that did help me. And over the weeks, the months, talking to Joe back and forward did help.
Yeah.
But as things go on, time goes on, and different lives go on, we lost contact. We're now back in contact again, more like chatting about the ball and stuff like that. And I think I've lost my way in that, and I need to get it back. And I also think work doesn't help. I love my job, I really do, and you heard me earlier on talking about it. But the stress involved in it, and that on top of what you're going through your mind and putting a face on. People think, oh, John, happy logo, look, the thing with, oh, he's that good at this, he does this, and it's always a good laugh. But maybe 30% of the time it's a facade. It's me just being, I don't want to upset anybody at work. I don't want them thinking that basically, oh, we've done something, he's in the mood, and he's this and that, and you're just putting a brave face on when stuff like that. And I don't know, I just love to be able to just talk about it, because I feel great about it.
Yeah, aye.
I feel great that I feel it now. I feel now that thing. And I suppose that's one of the reasons I kind of look forward to the ball, talking to other people, because I don't really know that many. Joe, and there's another guy who was in my work, but he's now left, so that connection's gone as well from that point of view. But yeah, it's also, I've done a chat myself, and I don't know if I sent you that, the one where one of the boys in the work had prostate. So both of us done a talk on it, and he's trying to get to the older people, and I'm the older guys, and I'm trying to get to the younger guys to try and do it. And we've got a healthy working life thing in the work, and just try to get young guys to understand, it's just not worth leaving it too long. And again, you're trying to relate to them and things they like football and that. And look, there's what's his name? It's gone. That's my mind. That's another thing. It's gone. John Hartson, Alan Stubbs. Look at these guys. They were young and they got it. So if you get it quick, you get a chance.
Sebastian Haller, most recently, you know. And,
that's right.
And I don't know if you know about this guy, but there's a young boy who played with West Ham, Dylan Tombides.
For the name.
But Dylan actually, he died because he's testicular cancer. So his mum started the DT 38 Foundation in his memory and all that down there. So they do a lot of kind of good stuff. And they're actually part of the Testicular Cancer Network now,
right?
Which is something that Cahonas is part of. So we're the only one in Scotland, but all the other kind of English ones. So we all kind of Richie has the meetings every kind of couple of months, and we kind of go what's new and what we're doing and how we try to raise awareness type of thing. So I
tried doing it on Facebook. I'm off Facebook now, but there was a testicular one there. But I ended up, because of hearing the stories, and I felt more depressed. Because it was bringing it back, and it's just in writing, whereas somebody talking to you is different. Yeah. From reading it.
Yeah. No, I get that.
And it was weird. And it was a bad advice, Facebook. I had to come off, because basically when you're in a slight dark place, you don't need things like that. Because you end up saying things in it that you're going, why did I say that? And you've said it and it can't come back. Once you've wrote it, it's not coming back. So it's... And the things that aren't good, so I keep away from things like that. Best thing, and my best advice for anybody who's in that area and feeling the way I was feeling at the time, don't forget social network. It's not going to speak to somebody. It's the best thing.
So see, when you had your surgeries, did you have an individual surgery for your orchidectomy then, or was that all part of the same?
I had three.
So you had three
operations.
Right. So you had your orchidectomy, your RPLND, and then...
There's a name for it and I can't remember. I remember the surgeon, Mr. Kirk. He was telling me a story. He says, but he's the registrar that was with him, and they were talking away, and he says, well, back in the day we used to put clamps in and just rip your ribs, the back of it. Yeah, I say, no, we're a lot more gentle now. Thanks.
Cheers.
That was a worse operation than that one, because basically it was near the main artery, and my what's it called again? The diaphragm. It was near that, so that was because at the time they were doing a lot of robotic operations, but because how close mine was there, they couldn't do that, or they would have been at robotic. But I got the 12th of December, I got my orchidectomy, and then I was May, 16th of May, it's actually my Francie's sister's birthday, that's how we remember that one, was my RPLND.
There's not very many folk who remember their sister-in-law's birthdays, to be fair, so...
Yeah. No, that is true. And then I got the final operation in the February the following year. And that was I was late, I ended up on steroids again because Jeff wanted Mr. Kirk, because he was the best at doing that operation as far as Jeff was concerned. Right. Or I was going to get sent to London. And but he was off ill with pneumonia, so basically I was waiting for him to come back. Right. So that's how it was delayed, or it'd been a lot closer. Yeah. But
I mean, one of those operations is big enough in of itself.
Yeah.
To have had three of them, like, how was your physical recovery? And how long did it take you to kind of, especially, you had a month or so between, or 2 months between?
I had 2 months, but I finished the chemo. My last injection of chemo was the 9th of March, which was my daughter's birthday, another thing. And at the time, my wife was away. It was my oldest one's hen. She was away, so I was basically on my own. But it worked out fine, to be honest. It's probably the best thing that would happen to me, the fact of doing that. Jeff told me he wouldn't do the operation if he didn't think I was fit enough. And I think all the walking again helped me get through the chemo, don't get me wrong, it was through the second session, I sitting in the bed and I turned around to Fan and said, I can't do this. I really can't do this. She says, you have to do it. And Jeff came in the other day and says, no, you're doing it. If I have to come to your house and bring you in, I'm going to do it because you're going to get done. And honestly, he said that. I was like, right, okay. But no, there was things along the way in between the chemo and the RPLND. So I went up to, I went to hospital and they do a check your heart to make sure it's a pre-operation thing, they check on it. And they thought I found a murmur in my heart. And at that point, it might put off the operation for a while.
Right.
I'm like, ugh. So the day before the operation, they basically called me in and they got a proper doctor to scan me. And the guy said, there's nothing wrong with you.
Right, okay.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. Oh, no, it's like...
You didn't want another thing on top of it, eh?
No, and you're sitting on this, another thing, here we go, and that's... So they done the operation, 8 hours I was under. I came out and they rushed me to high dependency. They put you in there anyway, but I woke up and my two daughters were there, and I could see my oldest one, the nurse, I could see her face. I said, what's wrong? And she went, nothing. I said, Chloe, I can tell, I can just look at your face, I know there's something wrong. There's nothing wrong. But the nurse came up at this point and I says, look, what's wrong? It's nothing to worry about, your blood pressure's low. Right, okay. So we need to try and get your blood pressure up. So we're giving you a lot of fluid, try and get it up. If that doesn't work, we've got other ways of doing it. She about turned and said, I'm going to go and get your stuff. So she was upset about it because she knows the ins and out of it. But they got it up. But because of that, they had to keep me in longer, high dependency. And it's an open ward, just by curtains.
Yeah.
And I hate smooth radio now. It's so funny, the things, because of all that, you remember. There's an old guy that was next to me. He refused help all the way through it and he needed it and stuff like that. But he had to listen to smooth radio. 24 hours a day. My son-in-law ended up bringing me up with earplugs, so I didn't need to listen to them. So I kept him in 4 days, and right, you're fine, you can get out. We'll put you up to the ward. And I had a catheter in. This is coming back again. The catheter, and it was a male nurse. He was the only one that was left on the ward at that time. The rest were on lunch and all that. I was like, okay, I think it was just me and one other person left. And he says, right, you're going up to the ward and going to take it out. And I was like, so you done this before? And he went, oh yeah, I've done it. I was like, oh fine, it's okay, no bother. And unbeknown to me, he hadn't done it before.
Oh no. So, John, I can feel where this is going.
So I said, well, what are you going to say? I'm just going to pull it out.
Oh.
So, again, unbeknown to me, they're supposed to blow it up and take it out.
Aye. So for anybody listening, if you don't know how a catheter goes in, you insert the catheter and then you blow in, it's like a pockety water bubble that's to help seal down into the bladder, which helps the water then go through the thing. So if that's pulled when that's still inflated...
Yeah, so he pulled it. Oh my God. So I've just came 3-4 days before a major operation. I can hardly move as it is. And this guy pulls that down.
Oh, God.
Oh my God. So they take you up and don't know, did you get the RP, Andy?
No.
Right.
I was thankful.
Thankfully, I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
So they take you up to the ward, and the only way you can get out of that ward is you do a number 2.
Yeah.
Okay? That means you can push.
Yeah.
You're not bursting anything and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, and they're saying, we can help you. We'll give you suppositories. Oh, no, what do they call it? Enema? Yeah, an enema. Whatever it is, anyway. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so we're going to stick 2 of these up your backside.
That's just a suppository, aye.
Yeah. And then that's where the chemo fog comes in. We're going to stick... I can't remember the names, but I can remember everything that happened. They could stick these up, but you've got to hold them for at least 30 seconds to a minute.
So they dissolve.
So, okay, fine, just putting them in. I was like, 10 seconds I lasted. And I'm running to that toilet. And it wasn't because I needed a toilet, it's because I couldn't keep these things in. And due to all that, I ended up doing the toilet, and they let me out. That was great. It was me home and relaxed and all that. And a couple of days later, Francis, I'm still needing the toilet. So Francis like, right, we'll get you stuff to try and go to the toilet to help your bowels move and all that. I was like, okay, so give me this. That's not working. We're looking up things like prune juice, you name it. Contact the doctors. Thing we will give you this. And eventually, about a week into it, she's downstairs. A lovely day. Lovely. Of lucky, May was beautiful. It was absolutely stunning. The weather was fantastic. And she remembers that shout, "Yee-haw!" Finally. John! So again, I then start feeling I'm not eating either. I mean, a third of what I should be eating, but I'm not losing weight. I'm then needing the toilet again, and Chloe comes in and goes, "You look too big there, Dad. You look far too big. Something's just not right." So if in a couple of days that isn't better, then you need to go up to the hospital. So up to the hospital, Queen Elizabeth, and obviously being in hospital enough, the last thing I want to do is spend another night in the hospital. And they put the name tag on me. And I went, I'm not staying. She said, no, it's fine, you're in, it's an out, you're in, we just put that on, just the thing with. I said, your backside. So the thing we took, and then the doctor came in and said, sorry to say, but your abdomen's full of fluid. Okay, right, what does that mean? Well, not 100%, we're going to send you for an ultrasound. And right, fine, and ultrasound came back, there's loads of fluid in your abdomen. Turns out it was 2 litres.
Wow.
So while because they've seen this, they then put a slight tattoo mark on you, a pen mark. And even when you wash it, it doesn't come off for weeks. So what are you doing that for? So that's where we need to put again, the name's gone for it, to suck the thing out your abdomen. Does this mean I'm staying in? Twigs. So I go back, and then they take me up to the ward, the same ward where I was recovered after my operation. And they're basically thinking, right, we're going to, there's lack of doctors at the moment, and we're going to wait. That's right, so wait and wait. Eventually, 2 days later, I get it's gone, I'm sorry.
Was it a drain?
Drain, that's it.
Yeah.
Mind is terrible. Get to put a drain in, and the needle they used to put the drain in was that size.
Oh.
And this plastic drain in, and within the first hour they drained at least 2 litres of milky fluid.
Right.
Or it was just fat. So, don't know if you're aware, basically the lymph nodes gets rid of the fat and put it back into your, to get your body to deal with. So, when they cut the tumours, it's your lymph nodes, and they put titanium clamps on them. So I had 4 titanium clamps, and basically what happened was they started leaking.
Right.
Unbeknown to me, and unbeknown to the surgeon, they started leaking, which is, back in the day, it happened a lot, but with new technology, it hadn't. And it turns out I was the 3rd person that had that operation that basically it was happening to. And turns out when I went in, there was another guy in there, the exact same thing with. So what I ended up having to do is I drained it. I was in there about 2 or 3 days, 4 days maybe. And they then went, the surgeon came round, and I'm going to walk out here and his name will come to me like that. He turned around and says to me, right, you're going to have to go on an almost fat-free diet. You can't go totally fat-free because there's nothing that's fat-free. So you need to do all this. I said, that's fine. And I put me on these drinks to build up my strength. And I had to go on that fat-free diet. And that was for 4 weeks. I was on the fat-free. So at that point, from building my strength up, suddenly I had no strength to all the way down. So eventually, after 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks after it took me off that fat-free diet, it was a fight to get me out of the hospital, because there was another surgeon who came in to see me and said, there's still fatty fluid coming out. And I said, but such and such said I can get out. Nah, I do this operation as well. I said, well, I'm sorry, you need to go and speak to him, because he told me I was getting out and I'm getting out. And auxiliary, she's saying, John, calm down. I'm getting out here. So eventually let me out, and I've done all that and built my strength up. Do you know, I went on holiday in the June, July, in my caravan. My 2 daughters, my wife and my grandson, my son-in-law, way down to Chester. I had to get away.
Aye.
But I was drained, totally and utterly drained. And I think it took me, and then I think I was just recovering when they then hit me with the other operation. And that one there was the longer to recover. That was an 8 week recovery, although it was a 2-hour operation. It's funny how they work no rhyme or reasoning for it, but that was a tough one.
Yeah.
And they get you, as soon as you're out of that operation, you're awake. They're getting you to do exercises. They don't let you sit in your backside and feel sorry for yourself. It's
no,
like,
you're up and get walking. Aye.
You're sitting going, right, we're taking you going up and down these steps.
Yeah.
And there's me, show off John. These 2 physios are saying, right, we want you to walk up there and walk back down, that's fine. And then tomorrow we'll go, or later on we'll come and do some more. So, I can do it 2 or 3 times. I'm thinking I can get out quicker. I was shattered.
Aye, and knack it like that.
What happened? A big show off and that. So, but no, the recovery was tough, and with complications along the way. I was lucky with the one here. I didn't have any complications, which was great in that sense. So that then allowed me then to get through the rest of it, and then pick up. And again, I suppose part of that then took your mind off of feeling low and stuff like that, because you never had a chance to think, because of so much happening at the time. Don't get me wrong, when they tell you, oh, you have to get this operation, then you go,
yeah,
you're feeling down again, and but you'd bounce back. But back then it was, I'd say probably out of 9-10 days, I had 9 bad days.
Right.
And now I'm probably out of 10, I've probably 1-2 bad days. But that's 8 years, almost 8 years. So but those bad days are bad days.
Yeah.
They're not the, right, get a kick up the backside scenario. I think my issue is I probably try to hide it. I don't want to upset him, don't want to upset my wife, my daughters and stuff like that, and family around it. But no, I'm here, but I'm now feeling the after effects of the chemo. I'm now getting the things Jeff would say that affect you further on in life. The high blood pressure. My blood pressure now needs to get monitored because of the amount of chemo they hit me with, the type of chemo, and I've got a low margin for my blood pressure.
Right.
So I'm now on 2 blood pressure tablets, high ones for that. Also ended up at the age of 52 breaking an arm, and I hadn't broken into my bone. I broke my arm up there, and that's down to because I've got what they call brittle bone, and it's a chemo that's caused that as well. So you've got all that to look forward to.
Great.
So,
did you get tinnitus at all?
I get it every so often,
right?
Not much, and it's mainly when I'm in a big room. There's a lot of people in it. I'll suddenly just come in and it's in this here. I get neuropathy.
Oh, do you? Right.
But only, it's mainly in the winter. It will start round about now, and what will happen if I touch anything cold, the fingers will go, tips will go white.
Right.
And then it'll take about 45 minutes for them to come back to normal. I lost all my toenails.
Oh, really?
They're back now, but I lost them all. The 2 big ones were the worst. They went off. In fact, twice they've come off. Not fully. They're back, but they're not to an extent where. So every time you it's like up in the morning or you get a shower and you look in the mirror and you go, patchwork quilt there. You do stuff like that. But I was lucky in that sense. I didn't get tinnitus. That was a big.
That's the main one I got. I had tinnitus anyway.
Right.
Just by years of listening to music loud and playing in bands and stuff. But since my chemo, my tinnitus is worse. And but much like you, like you see big crowded rooms, I can't hear anything. If my wife's walking away from me and she'll say something, I can't hear her. And it's like there's certain times as well, like if I get really stressed, it'll kick in and I'll just feel louder, but I also feel like a pulsing tinnitus as well. So that, and I'm just, again, I was much like you. My life laughs at me for this all the time because it's like, I didn't really know what anxiety was until I was in my 30s. Yeah. I didn't have any kind of mental health issues, and it wasn't until I was in my 30s after my chemo and surgery and all that I developed like having anxiety and depression. And I remember feeling anxiety for the first time, and I couldn't explain what it was. And I said to Palmer, she went, "Paul, you're feeling anxious. That's what that feels like." And I was like, I've never felt that before. Like even like with everything that you can do in life, I just hadn't felt that type of anxiety. And I remember, it was having a panic attack. I stupidly looked up what an orchidectomy was the night before my surgery. I promised myself I wasn't going to, and then I did. And that was me. I was away. I was like heavy breathing. I was rocking. I couldn't get my words out. I was like, can I do this? Can I do this? It was. But it's funny how there's similarities within the stories of the guys. Yes. Do you know what I mean? Like we've all had, and it's not to say that some guys are more mentally robust than others. Some guys just have had a way where they maybe haven't been affected maybe quite as viscerally as like you and I clearly have.
Yes.
And that's okay, but it's something that it does need to get discussed more. I think the people who, again, you nailed it. The NHS was great. The people in the Beatson were amazing. Yes. Your physical health was really looked after in that time. But once you were finished, and that's been 10 years now, bang, done. And I got a phone call the other day about my sperm sample to say, like, that's it. You can either keep it or send it to science. And I've had the snip now in my remaining testicles. So me and my wife aren't looking to have any other kids. So it was just like, that was the sample going to get destroyed. Yep. And I felt a real heart sink because it was like, okay, that's that opportunity for anything like that. Not that we want it, but it's the opportunity of it's taken away from you.
Yes.
And it's a strange one that it's even 10 years since my diagnosis. there's something about that procedure still affecting me today.
Yes.
You know, and I think that's the heaviness that they don't understand it.
Yeah, it's at the back of your head.
Yeah.
It's there, and as time goes on, pushing it back, but one wee thing triggers it. Mm-hmm. And it's going up to Beatson, it triggers them every year now, and basically I'm every year for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. They've asked me basically, due to the way the cancer was, that would you mind? I'm like, you crazy? Of course I'm going to come up.
Yeah,
and it's a peace of mind in that sense, that sense of it. But you go up there and it's just that small thing. For my sister-in-law's birthday, it triggers it.
Yeah,
and various different things. But you go and something will get said, and I'll go, oh, I went to my daughter's wedding, and my hair was just growing back. So I'd think the hair drew in February, and her wedding was the April. Mm-hmm. So every time you look at wedding pictures or you go back, there's that trigger, and it's just there. It's a bit like I keep things stored in there, and they come back. I work in IT, so when I look at things, I can bring them back, regurgitate, and I remember them. No, the fact I deliberately keep them there, it's something happened and I remember, and something triggers, and I bring it back, and that's a bit like the cancer side of it. It makes you feel down. It just takes, and that's probably what's happening those 2 days. Something's happened to trigger it, or so maybe in a stressful moment, and my mind's just not coping with it.
Yeah. It was always going back into the beast, and it got me as well. Like, see the days, like the week or so leading up to just going in for my blood test.
Yeah,
killed me.
That's horrible.
You know, and I was so glad to see the back of them. You know,
this is the first time I was there in June. It's the first time I have not looked. I used to get an email from the nurse, or Jeff would email me saying your bloods are fine or whatever, and I got an X-ray as well. And it's the first time I've not even thought about my bloods or the X-ray. And it wasn't until I was in seeing the nurse the other week there that she turned and said, "No, your chest X-ray was fine, your bloods were fine." And it was the woman doctor, oncologist then, and she says, "Look, if there's anything wrong, I'll contact you." And that was the first time, and you know, it felt great. In that sense, but which means that's progress. Yeah, in a sense. But as I said back at the start, I think having somebody there at the start, especially for younger guys, because they've not, as you say, anxiety is not a massive thing in younger guys. When you're older, when you've had kids and various things like that, and you've got a lot more stress in your life, that anxiety comes in, money, debt, all that kind of help you then get that sort of thing. And as you get older, you've dealt with that side. But when you're younger, you don't. Whereas it'd be good for them to have somebody there to at least say, "We're here for you to talk to." You don't have to, but we're here. And I think that would help, even as you say, maybe a session, because there's more than one guy going through chemo at a time for testicular or cancer. It'd still be good to be able to talk what's going through, in a sense. I think.
And I think, like, weirdly, you think that maybe talking about it wouldn't be great, but I found, like, with this, even coming into my job, like my wife did worry that I was just throwing myself back into that world where it was killing me, you know, and that it was going to be detrimental. But actually, like, it has helped, and doing the podcast has helped even more, because I get to speak to guys like you, and I get to speak to guys who have went through it, and then we share, like, it's almost like sharing war stories in a sense, you know. It's like, and you're telling about the things, and you go, "Oh, great, because I'm glad that wasn't just me," or you know, that I feel like that as well. And I think that's the biggest thing, even though that, like, we are starting to build this community. With when you're going through your testicular cancer diagnosis, you are very, very isolated and very lonely. And I think that's the biggest thing that we're trying to combat as Cahonas, and that's why, you know, now when we're doing the boxes, and we're getting, I kind of write a wee note and give my number to guys, you know, just to say, like, reach out, we're here, you know. And I've had a few guys reach out to say, you know, thanks for, you know, caring, and you know what I mean. And you just touch base every so often, you know, and I think it at least helps in some way, you know, to know that somebody, like, I had a guy who was like, "I'm about to go in for this, like, nobody's going to tell me what to expect." And I can say, "Well, here's what happened to me in my journey, and this was it." And I says, "And I'll tell you warts and all, what happened. Because I would have preferred that. I would have liked to have seen, like, see this conversation, if we could have seen this
Yes,
when
definitely.
when we first got diagnosed, that would have been great to hear the warts and all, because it's like, okay, that's as bad as it can get.
Yeah.
And if you're within that and you go, oh, I'm actually doing okay.
Yes.
That would have been
definitely.
great.
No,
you know?
without a doubt. If I could tell my story to someone who's just about going, this is as bad as it's going to get. It can go slightly worse, but that's very, very rare.
Yeah.
To go as bad as what I had is. So basically, here's a story and what to expect.
Yeah.
And that's with helping it. The guy I was telling you before who does the prostate one, they've got a charity who allow guys to phone up. And he's on, takes the phone calls. So what the prostate cancer basically give out, obviously a number, you can phone this guy and then you can get help if you're going in there, you're going through it, then somebody to talk to. And sometimes I think that's would be an idea for testicular cancer. I know it's not massive, but it's big enough where guys do need help.
Yeah, oh, totally. And I think, like, as Cahonas, we are trying everything we can to kind of help guys going through it. Unfortunately, it's just the two of us as well. So it's if we can find a way that can be funded, or we can have somebody who that's like a post that's funded to do that. Yeah, it would be amazing. You know, like, because we think that's necessary as well. You know.
I'll need to speak to him and see how they went about it.
Yeah,
he's with that sort of thing.
Because it's something that, you know, we haven't spoke about in terms of on the podcast, and if you don't want to speak about it because it's too personal, that's fine, but it's just to go back to, you know, that nerve and that getting cut and all that type of thing. Are you all right to talk about that?
I'm more than okay.
Yeah.
See, before anything to do with the cancer side of it, I'll talk all day long to anybody who wants to listen, especially young guys who basically might get through this. Because I want them to catch it quick. I don't want them to go through what I went through. I don't want anybody to go through that. And if I can help one person, that's, to me, that's been worthwhile. And a wee bit embarrassment. I'm 56 on Monday, so come on, I've been there, seen there, wear the t-shirt, it's fine, but no, ask anything. Yeah,
I just think it's interesting because obviously that's such a major thing to happen. Like, guys are, you know, they're going through that surgery and they're getting a testicle removed. You've had a surgery where, like, functionality has been affected.
Yes.
To what degree is your functionality affected then? Is it, you know, can you get an erection?
Yes.
You know,
no, I still do that. I still get the orgasm.
Right, so you still get the sensation.
Still get the sensation, but I don't get, nothing comes out.
So it's just
So basically, what it is anybody wants to look up retrograde, and I end up looking up several times, going, is it reversible?
Right.
But no, when you cut a nerve, it's gone. So basically, what happens is it's a trigger. It goes, so left closed, everything goes to your to the bladder and goes down. But when you're aroused in that, and it's at that point where you're about to ejaculate, the nerve comes up and closes it and allows the sperm.
Right, okay.
So cutting that nerve, which one great thing is basically I don't have smelly feet anymore. My wife's glad of that. It just
two
stops
things
it.
that she's won out on.
Yeah, well, funny enough, no more messes, she says. Basically that's what it is. I took it in my stride to start with, and funny enough, before I got into operation, and it's like, my wife's probably going to hit me for this, but it's quite personal, and she's like, well, you're not feeling up to, because in a couple of days you're not going to ejaculate properly. And I didn't have the energy because of the chemo, because everything happened that fast.
Yeah.
So I then look back and going, wait a minute, and that's another thing that plays on the mind, in the sense of, I should have. And you do get that, what's the words? Loss. You know what I mean? That loss after intercourse, you go, oh, yeah. It's no the same.
Right.
It isn't the same in any way. It is, but it isn't. If you know what I mean. There's that bit. It's.
Well, I think like for most people, you know, especially like when you're having sex, it is a release.
Yes.
You know, that's the whole point, and it's everybody, you know, it's like you get that release. So to not have that physical release,
full release,
that full release must be difficult to
it took years.
Yeah.
Took years to get over that part of it.
Mm-hmm. You're just flinging hot yogurt on her.
No, I'd make a mess of bed and she'd knock the living daylights out of me. But then I look at other things, and for instance, prostate cancer, that side of it there, it affects that.
Yeah.
Where they don't get an erection.
Yeah,
and then so you then look at these things. I always look on that side. I always try to say, right, you're feeling down, but then look at the positivity.
Yeah.
You can still have sexual intercourse.
Yeah.
You still be intimate with your wife.
Yeah.
So I look at that. Same as when I was in the Beatson. I don't know, do you ever go to the Friends of the Beatson? Did you ever go yet?
No, the thing, I went up once. I think a couple of times, for what I remember.
Well, that's where the child ward is.
Right.
So the first thing you're thinking, getting up there, I don't want to bump any children. That's the thing. But then things like that, I was lucky enough. A cancer that's 85% curable. That makes me think, well, I'm one of the lucky ones. I've got a good cancer, if there is such a thing. And that's the other thing I try to put my mind into, is you're one of the lucky ones. There's kids, there's other people just basically getting told you've got 4 weeks to live scenario, and you go, well, I'm here.
Yeah.
And that's when you start feel these sort of things. And I'm doing that more and more and more as I go on, is, yeah, you've got to be positive about it. But what I don't like is when people turn around and say, come on, cheer up, you're here.
Yeah.
And you're like, what do you mean by that? Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. But I'm still going through it.
Yeah.
And they'll look at the work and they'll forget in the work, and then they go and suddenly they still don't know how to ask you the things and stuff like that, and you think, why is he that down? What's up with him?
I think that's the thing. It's and I know I'm very much aware that this is like the new buzzword, but it still is a trauma. You know, and not only is being told that you've got cancer trauma, the treatment is, the operations, and for your case, multiple treatments are. You know, there's been impact on, like, not only your physical health now, but obviously your sexual health as well is affected as well because of that, that nerve getting cut. So it's all impacted, and again, I've been like you, where people could say, "Oh, there's Paul, happy-go-lucky," but it's just it's just a mask. And I said that to my wife recently, and I came off antidepressants,
right?
And I was doing okay, but then I wasn't. So I'm now back on antidepressants. Yes. But Pamela would like look at me and she'd say, like, you're almost into kind of like, it's almost like Cahonas mode. You know, like, I can talk to, so I can go in and work a room, but then go in and it's just like, I'm a bit like Joe Biden at the podium. I'm like, and then straight back into a plain face. I
know that feeling because I work in IT, so we're customer service, so you're dealing with people on a day-to-day basis, you're on phone and all that, and you do all that, and I go home and I just go, don't want to talk. I've talked too much, I don't. So we go walking, and that helps. You go walking and you talk, in a sense. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. I tried to come off mines, and I knew straight away. Plus, I get told you have to get back on them. So it's like, no, you're not seeing this. So I'm back on them. To be honest, I'll probably be on them for a long time. Yeah. I've
kind of resigned myself to that. I might be on them forever. I might be in a place where I maybe can come off them, or at least come down them.
Yes.
But certainly I've resigned myself to that, and I think that's the thing. You kind of nailed it there as well. It's you don't see it. So I think that's the one thing for guys listening who are potentially going to hit this part of their journey, is that listen to the people who are around you and love you, and see when they're telling you there's a change or you're not quite right, then don't path it off, because they're probably right. You can't see that you're being crabby. You can't see that you're losing your temper. You can't see these things, you know.
Get into yourself as well. And somebody told me, I can't remember, and I was messaging somebody yesterday about it. It said a saying to me, and it's always stuck with me. It's okay not to be okay. And that's what I think. And the sooner you catch that feeling, then the quicker then it is to try and get something to fix it, to help you. It's not a solution, and a lot of people need to realise antidepressant isn't the solution. It's get you in a level playing field where you can then see what's happening, and you can go, right, I'm now back to not as much as normal as I can go, and then need to do things to try and help me go back
It's like coming out of a mist, isn't it? It's like you feel like there's this literal fog in front of you, and then when you come out, you go, right, now I can do the work.
Yes.
You know, and it's and I know people think it sounds really twee, but see, like doing meditation's a great thing. Taking the time. You know, I love the fact that, you know, I've got my watch where it tells me, like, I've got it set up, but it's like, just take a minute to be mindful. Like, so stop. You know, things like Headspace. You know, I don't know. I see, for your mental health, are you implementing any kind of like meditation? Are you using self-help books? Are you using like just mindfulness stuff?
The best thing at the moment seems to help is the walks.
Yeah.
So we'll do maybe a week, pretty much 3 mile walks, different times.
It's mindfulness in itself,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and you're talking about various different things, and you're getting a lot off your mind. But it's also, and we're talking about doing. I've seen a lot on. I don't know if you've seen them on Instagram. Tai Chi.
Yeah,
do a lot about Tai Chi, and I've done a wee bit of research on the internet, because a lot of stuff comes up on Instagram, and you're going, right, okay. And especially these special glasses that work straight away and sort of stuff. So I've looked at it, and yeah, it's supposed to be really good for the mind and the strength of your body and your aches and pains, which I suffer from. So we're going to look at that, doing that as well, to try and do something different instead of doing the same routines. It's easier from like so myself, my wife, our kids are grown up, so we've got plenty of time to do these things, but you end up in a rut because you've done things the same way all the time that it's difficult to get out of the rut.
Yeah.
I hope that's one of the things I'm trying to make my mind fresher, get away from this. We things that just go, cancer again.
Yeah.
Whereas if something then goes, say for instance, they say like Tai Chi, and then suddenly you get these things in your head, and you just do some of the exercises, that then can get out. So that's sort of thing I've been looking at. But again, lucky enough, my kids are growing up. For some people, you don't get that chance because you're working, your kids, you've got houses and everything, bills to pay. And there's guys out there that don't get the time.
Yeah.
And all I can say is stick in there, find something, even it's one day, a half an hour walk, find something to just try and get your mind off it.
Yeah.
And that's what it is about.
It's finding something as well. It's like in this world where we're, especially like as you get older and you've got older kids and things like that, it's like sometimes you lose the direction where like your pals or whatever are doing stuff for you.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like for me, like me and my pals now go and play pool on a Monday, you know, like we're all members of the local pool club. And we just play amongst ourselves, you know, but it's that mindfulness of like just taking the time to think about nothing and talk absolute nonsense to each other and play a game of pool. And it's finding that thing for you that's going to make you feel better. You know, whether that's walking, playing pool, you know, but I think running.
Any bit of exercise that is, they say is great for the mind.
Yeah.
And playing pool's an exercise. Because you're not as if you're standing still, and plus you're exercising.
When you're me and you're that bad at standing still quite a bit, but
like my grandson.
But so looking back at, you know, this last 8 years, if you could give a bit of advice to maybe like John 8 years ago, but maybe somebody else who's just about to go into this experience, what advice would you give somebody going forward?
I believe what got me through, especially the operations and the chemo, and that is I did exactly what they told me to do. Right? They told me, you're doing this, I done it. There's too many people around. I had people, again, around me saying, well, what about cannabis, or what about this, what about that? No, they know what they're doing. Yeah, there might be other things out there that might be able to help. Just listen to the doctors and talk. Try and get somebody who, like yourself, Paul, somebody in that scenario, talk, get their advice, because I wish I'd known the stuff that was going on. Because if you're getting into anybody, take someone who's going to listen. So maybe somebody that's not as close to your wife, your partner, because you don't listen. because their mind's going crazy. I might lose my partner, I might lose my husband through this, because everybody hears cancer and the first thing you think somebody's going to die from it. So take notes of as well, but listen to them. They know what they're doing, and they don't just say. When somebody turns around and says to you, "I'm going to save you," they mean it. If it's an oncologist, he's not going to say that if he can't do it. But no, and be strong. Find the strength to do it. And it's difficult to find the strength, but through that part of it, the easiest part, believe it or not, in my mind is, and I don't know yourself, the easiest part is the chemo. The easiest part was the operations. Don't get me wrong, it was painful and stuff like that, but in my mind it was easy. The minute they told me, and I said earlier, the minute they told me you're in remission or cancer free, whatever you want to call it, that's when it hit me. That's when it really hit me. Before it as well, but if you've already been told you've got the cancer and then you're in that journey at that point, prior to that, any guys listening who basically check your chuckies, check your balls. The minute you think you find something, go to your doctor. Don't get fobbed off. Go to them, because as soon as you find that, the better. The less chance that you're going to have to A, lose your testicle, B, get through something that I went through.
Yeah.
If I'd went 2 weeks before, I probably wouldn't have had this operation or that operation. Just listen to your body. Don't listen to what a GP says. Don't let them fob you off. Just listen to your body. Your body knows. And it's funny, I didn't listen to my body. and that's the end of the day. I'm here. Do I regret it? No, I don't have any regrets. I don't see the point in regretting it. I'm here to tell the story. I'm here, yeah, I've been through a hell of a time, but there's people worse off than me. And that's where I look at it. But if you've got it, listen to them. Listen to the specialists. And reach out for somebody, because I wish I'd reached out. And talk to your mates. If they're not listening, then reach out to somebody. Go and look up Cahonas and give you a message, or Richie a message, and talk. That's what I would say.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much for coming on again and sharing your story. And listen, it's always a pleasure talking to you anyway. So, then look forward to seeing you at the ball as well.
Look forward to it.
All right.
What I will say is, whether you put it in or not, it's up to yourself. If anybody wants to talk to me regarding it and my experience or anything like that, quite happy for you to pass on my number. And more than I just want to help people. Don't go through. I don't want somebody to go through what I went through. I want them to have a better journey than what I had.
Fab. Brilliant. Will do, mate. Thank you.
Cheers,
mate.
Thank you.
Cheers.